So I want to give an update to the story from yesterday of the Fort Worth race soldier cop that arrested the black woman and her daughter when their son was a victim of a crime. Now, it's come out, they got out of jail, they have an attorney, and also the police chief is chiming in on this video and situation as well. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
See, police kill people every day on video, and that
Bree Hyman gave a passionate explanation why she started recording a now viral video of her mother's arrest by a Fort Worth police officer.
And that could have easily been my mother, myself, or my 15-year-old sister. That's why I felt it was the need to record it, because that could have been anybody, and that couldn't have been his taser that he pulled out. That could have been his weapon.
The incident happened Wednesday afternoon. Jacqueline Craig, in the white shirt, is seen trying to explain to a Fort Worth police officer that a man, one of her neighbors, had choked her son for littering.
My son is 7 years old. You don't have the right to grab him, choke him behind no paper that he threw. What you should have done, because we have been living here for years, so you know that my house is a door in between yours. You could have came to me. Don't put your hands on my son.
Then things escalated when the officer appeared to begin criticizing Craig.
Why don't you teach your son not to litter?
He can't prove to me that my son littered, but it doesn't matter if he did or didn't. It doesn't give him the right to put his hands on it.
The officer warns her if she continues to yell, he'll take her to jail. Then a daughter steps in to talk to her mom, and that's when it got chaotic. The video jumps to the officer putting Craig on the ground and handcuffing her. He then goes over to the daughter and puts handcuffs on her. All the while, those nearby were yelling and screaming. Craig, her 19-year-old daughter, and her 15-year-old daughter were arrested, charged with resisting arrest. Craig was also charged with failure to identify. The 15-year-old charged with a misdemeanor. After spending the night in the Mansfield jail, they bonded out this afternoon.
I'm very distraught because what I felt I was doing was actually protecting my child, and it didn't happen. It made me feel less of a parent, that I couldn't protect him when he needed it.
In a late news conference, Lee Merritt, Craig's attorney, demanded 4 things.
We are looking for the charges levied against our clients to be dismissed.
Craig's family also wants the man accused of choking her son arrested. The other 2 things involve the officer seen in the video.
We want to see the officer responsible, Officer Martin. We would like to see him immediately fired. And we would also like to see him prosecuted as well for his assault on the family.
The Fort Worth Police Department issued a statement saying, in part, "We ask that our investigators are given time and opportunity to thoroughly examine this incident and to submit their findings. We ask our community for patience and calm during this investigative process." In his closing statement, the attorney for the family remarked about the white officer, his client, who is black, and whether race is a component in what happened.
Went out there, you had 2 citizens out there. One who admitted to committing a crime. He said, "I choked the kid because he defied me." And another one who simply said, "My son was the victim of a crime." The difference between those 2 being citizens was one was white and the other was black. The white guy went home that night. My client just got out of jail recently. So the inference of racism is there, and unless they can offer a more plausible explanation why this happened and why countless incidents of just like this happen all over the country, then we're going to call a spade, and it's racism.
What we've seen over the last few days with the video that surfaced.
Tarrant County leaders talked Friday about the viral video of the arrest of Fort Worth mom Jacqueline Craig and her 2 daughters.
I can't call it racism. What I can say is that I noticed in the video that the officer was rude, and you know, there's a difference between rude and racism.
How Craig was arrested, a taser pointed at her and one of her daughters, touched a nerve with State Rep Nicole Collier.
I was outraged by what I saw on the video. I'm going to say that I was outraged. The behavior, instead of actually trying to calm the situation, this police officer engaged in behavior that was not in line with the standard of conduct with the Fort Worth Police Department.
Why don't you teach your son not to litter?
He can't prove to me that my son littered.
From what I saw in the video, it appeared to me that the police officer there escalated the situation and was kind of being, rude and condescending to the taxpayer and citizen that called the police onto the scene. And we just can't have that.
While the world has seen the viral Facebook post, only a few have seen the body camera video. And we won't. The chief says it won't be released because it involves a juvenile. And when pressed, Fitzgerald pushed back.
And the nature of that question is trying to get the video released. We are not playing, we're not going to try to inflame the public with questions like that. That is irresponsible.
This is an open investigation.
The public appeal from Tarrant County leaders: let the process work. I asked Jacqueline Craig, with her attorney, how she would feel if the process found the officer did not violate rules.
Distraught, because it's absurd. How can you not feel like he didn't do anything wrong?
And we asked Chief Fitzgerald if he felt the allegation involving a 7-year-old being choked was given the proper attention.
When we have an incident where there's some type of assertion that a juvenile has been inappropriately touched, injured, whatever, that should take precedence. And for the 99.9% of our police officers in this police department that would have handled that case differently, I thank them.
So I saw some of the comments that was saying that this is bad, this is wrong. A lot of people hate what happened, but there were some comments that say we don't really think this is racism, and even the police chief said the same thing. But I noticed with some members of society, unless that person actually says a racial slur, then it's not racism. Let me tell you something, and maybe make it a little simplistic for you. Let's say if you're working at a job and you have this one person at your job, they do not like you. Now, when you come around, they talk to you very short. When you come around, they may even leave the room. They may roll their eyes at you. They may not include you in certain things, but they never told you not one time, I don't like you. So if you see all this behavior from this one person, you're going to gather, I don't really think that person like me. And you will tell the people, that person don't like me, and I can tell because they treat me this way. But they never said the words, I don't like you. Well, it's the same thing with racism. Just because someone doesn't call you the N-word doesn't mean they don't show you they're treating you different due to the color of your skin. Because we have to be real with this situation. If that were a black man putting his hands around the neck of a white child, you know good and well that black dude would be locked up in jail right now. This is why they said it's racism. And y'all need to get out of that, unless they say the N-word, that's when it's only is racist. Please. See, the thing is, people say that because they don't actually go through it. That's why it's easy for them to say that. And I wish, and me and another sister had this conversation, I wish I could live life that don't have to worry about racism, don't have to be called the N-word every day for having an opinion, don't have to deal with, being looked at different or being grouped together just because of what one black person do. I wish I had that luxury. That would be so nice. But unfortunately, as black people, we don't have that. So when you hear those things, especially when it comes to police officers, and police officers have had a history of treating us different for the color of our skin. Some of these police officers have been in the Ku Klux Klan and many other hate groups. How many times have they caught that? But with this situation, that guy needs to be fired. He don't need to be on the police force. He didn't care about the child. He's siding with the white guy, trying to bolster his right to put his hands on the neck of a black child. That stuff is completely wrong. And most of you, as I stated, was completely disgusted by this. I seen other police experts that was disgusted by this. This guy do not need to be on the police force, but cops like this, what you've seen in this video, is why black people get killed. He is the one that amped that whole situation up. He had an attitude. You saw that. The young girl was getting in between her mama to back her mama up to get her to calm down. And he took that as an opportunity to start acting savage. We seen this in the video. Something really needs to happen because this is completely disgusting. And before we wrap this video up, I would like to, reach out to you and say, if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the news stories, the updates, many of you email me, many of you send me Facebook messages, and you say, Philip, can you do this video? Philip, can you do this? I'd like to hear your opinion on this. And a lot of times you guys do that. And I definitely make a lot of sacrifices with my sleep and even time with my family to make sure that you get the news and information that we need to present to you in a timely fashion. So what we need from the people, because we have a lot of people watching, a lot of people commenting, we need people to support us on our Patreon page. Now, there are other platforms that can do this very easily. We have a lot of people here, and if we had got just a minimum of 2,000-3,000 people that can support us monthly on Patreon, we could do so many things that really I would like to do for this platform. And on the first of the month, that's when they charge you on Patreon for your monthly pledge. I mean, you could pledge $5, $10, $20, whatever you feel that you get from this platform. Some of you say that I don't pay cable TV. I just watch you. I don't watch CNN. I don't watch this one. I don't watch that one. Well, in order for us to do more, we have to have finance to do it. And unfortunately, as I stated before in the live stream, as a black content creator, we have a harder time being supported versus our white counterparts. And it has nothing to do with race for me. Unfortunately, it's just as black people, we don't want to really support as we should. And other groups really support. And I know you are capable of doing it. That's why I'm really reaching out. Trust me, I hate doing this. I hate asking for finances and stuff like that. I really do. But I want to keep the content pure as possible without anyone coming in trying to finance it or seeing that we have a need and try to totally water down and change the platform. I don't want to be the type of person that in order to get this money, I have to just completely wipe away what we're doing here and do what somebody else would like us to do. I don't think we should do that. That's not independent media. And I know there's a lot of good people that enjoy the platform. We see all the comments and a lot of you say keep going. Well, help us to keep going by going to our Patreon page and donating, monthly. Like I said, you can do a minimum of $5. $5 can go a long way with a lot of people. We're not asking one person to do it all, but if we can get 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people to sign up on Patreon, at least just for $5 a month, we can definitely make a lot of headway. We have a lot of projects that we have coming up in 2017. I will announce those projects, but only to the people that's signing up on Patreon. I got to give them a little bit more exclusive information than what I would give people here, because they're helping us, financially to keep the platform going. Because to be honest, at times it gets frustrating in the area of finance because I want to do so much more, and I see people that have so much less in subscribers and yet they get more support. And I think, definitely as black people, we have to support the platform that's speaking for us, and just anybody that really likes the platform, even if you're not black, say, I like the information, or some of you say, I like listening to you because it's a difference of opinion, or I get to hear it from the other side. Well, if you like that, support it. It's all we are asking on Patreon. But if we can come together and do that, we can do so much more, so much faster than what we are doing now. But thank you in advance for those who are going to the Patreon. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this story. Share the video, like the commentary, subscribe for more news stories.